United Review, Manchester United Football Club, Canon League Division 1, United versus Liverpool. Kick-off 3 p.m, season 1984-85, Saturday 22nd of September 1984. The United was sponsored by Sharp Electronics UK Limited. Today's match is sponsored by British Telecom. The days before they were referred to as BT. And the photo on the front here is United versus Newcastle United, Saturday 8th September. Remy Moses, what a player he was, celebrating his call up to the England squad with goal number 4, arguably the best of the afternoon. And the programme, which is volume 46, number 6, is priced at 35 pence. There's the famous United Review programme, Man on the Street, with the player. And we open up to Ron Atkinson talking. There's no doubt that Old Trafford will be buzzing this afternoon. We've had some tremendous tussles with Liverpool, and as I'm never tired of saying, the champions are the team everyone must measure themselves against. In direct confrontation with the Anfield Club, I think we can claim to have held our own, both in league and cup competition. In terms of winning the First Division title, it's a slightly different story. I'm the first to hold up my hands and say that we've simply been unable to match the consistency of our rivals from down the River Mersey. Liverpool are the champions, and everyone at Old Trafford would like to congratulate our visitors on their latest successes, which last season reached something of a peak in League, Cup and Europe. I've got to add, of course, that from 3 o'clock onwards, for 90 minutes, the compliments will come to an abrupt stop. I just don't go along with the idea that this is just another fixture worth no more than the 3 points allotted for every other league match. This is special for us, as it is for all the people who are going to give us another bumper attendance. And there's a picture, big picture of Gordon Strachan. And there's more information about United Honours, Manchester United Football Club PLC, Old Trafford, Manchester, M16, 0RA. President Sir Matt Busby CBE, and the directors. There's the honours, which of course accelerated when Fergie came along the following year. And there, if you notice at the bottom, the token that's been cut out for FA Cup matches, European matches, possibly. Right, on to the next page, fanfare. These details of things going on at United. Manchester United Supporters Club, pack number 1. Available from the Supporters Club at Old Trafford. Pack number 1 contains a Supporters Yearbook, 1984-85, 40 pages, full colour photos, articles, information, statistics, etc. Club Information Guide, a unique guide to MUFC for 1984-85 with club history, player, pen pictures, and autographs, travel information, fixtures list, etc. Souvenir catalogue, a mail order list of many souvenirs available from the official shop at Old Trafford. Discount and travel card. And then important club packs are only available from the Supporters Club. They cannot be bought in shops or other retail outlets, so don't forget that. There's a quick quiz there. I'll give you one of the questions, which I'll come back to at the end. Which city features in the name of 2 of the clubs promoted in 1984? That's a tricky one. And then we've got pictures there of the Manchester United Supporters Yearbook with Gordon Strachan, Talk Sports Alan Brazil, the Danish wonder kid Jasper Olsen. There's information guide and the Red Devil souvenir shop there. Supporters Club travel, Saturday 29th September, West Bromwich Albion, coach is £4.50, departs 12:15. Saturday 6th of October, Aston Villa, coach £4.50, departs 12:15. And Wednesday 10th of October, Burnley, coach only £2, departs 5:30. Supporters Club office hours. On this page, club news, the Milk Cup, Wednesday evening's match here at Old Trafford versus Burnley kicks off at 7:30 p.m. We have a farewell. Few people, if any, will be able to relax in the highly charged atmosphere at Old Trafford this afternoon. One man who will sit back and enjoy himself is ex-Chief Superintendent Pat Merrick, who retired recently from the Greater Manchester Police. Forthcoming matches, reserve seats are now available by post only for the matches versus West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur in October. West Bromwich Albion, next Saturday, United visit the Hawthorns to play West Brom. Admission to standing accommodation costs £2.50, and United fans should enter P Block. A memorable experience. Club photographer David Smith didn't know what he was letting himself in for when he persuaded a friend of ours, Lee Smith, to take him up and away recently. Dave has been anxious for some time to get aerial shots of Old Trafford, and Lee, a member of the Lancashire Aero Club based at Barton, borrowed the club's Cessna 172 for the job. Flying around Old Trafford at 1,500 feet, the duo did an excellent job, and we understand our photographer thoroughly enjoyed himself once he got rid of his lunch. Right, greetings. We've got David Ramsden from Dave Hume, Kevin Duggan, Skelmersdale, Matthew Carr, Sean Carpenter, Paul Robinson, and a few more. It's their birthdays today, and they're just celebrating them in the United programme. Bottom, we have an advert for Radio Piccadilly Radio 261. Nobody does it better. News can be found on BBC Radio Manchester at 95.1 FM or 206 medium, 1458 kilohertz. Now, that's a cool advert there for Adidas. There is no substitute. Adidas, the world's largest sportswear company, illustrated Adidas Profi soccer shoes and Tango Match Play soccer ball. Cool. There's David Meek reports, the legendary Manchester Evening News reporter. Managers frequently curse the calls of international duty. In the calmer moments, they know that playing at the very top level can only hasten a footballer's development, and that a club should be satisfied with this. At the same time, however, the release of men to play for their country does bring a lot of worry and occasionally a real setback. Apart from the obvious risk of midweek injury on behalf of someone else, it does make preparation for the next club fixture a little difficult, especially if 10 of your players are all away. That was Manchester United's experience last week, and it would have been all 11 missing if the Republic of Ireland had not suddenly and surprisingly left Kevin Moran behind. And we've got goals galore, penalty king, talking about Gordon Strachan there. There's David Meek. Cross over to the next page. Reserves and juniors. We start off Newcastle United Reserves 2, Manchester United Reserves 1. And then we've got some players in the United Reserve team there. Any of those had gone on to anything? Yeah, there's Pearce, Gidman, Robinson, Murphy, Russell, Ratcliffe, Davis, Dempsey, Blackmore. That'd be Clayton Blackmore, the Welsh international, played for United for many years. Wood, Graham. United A, Liverpool A. They're 1-0 to United. United A there. Whelans, Gill, Kelch, Hardy, McLaughlin, Mathewson, McGuinness, Russell, Platt, Cronin, McBride. And then United Reserves 2, Barnsley Reserves 0. Alan Brazil played in that game. Then we've got Central League fixtures here. From 1984, 1985, the Central League Division 1, the Lancashire League Division 1. So United are 5th in the Central League and 3rd in the Lancashire League. Photo there, some action from the reserve games. 4-page advert there, Thick and Thin by David Rowe. He's advertising for the Daily Mirror and the Sunday Mirror, the big names in the game. Magic Moments by Ron Crowther. Liverpool wrecked the housewarming party. Another milestone in the colourful career of Manchester United will be reached this season when the club celebrate the 75th anniversary of the opening of Old Trafford. Saturday, 19th of February, was the day in 1910 when it all began for the ground that was to gain worldwide fame. And who better to share the stage with United on their big day than Liverpool? Then, as now, the rival Reds were giants of the First Division scene. Each had won the league title in the previous 4 years, and at the time of their move, United were the FA Cup holders. It goes on and it finishes with, United certainly did settle down well for the following season, which they emerged as champions, and of course Old Trafford grew in size. In comfort and in reputation from the first day of wonder 75 years ago, it is now the Old Trafford of 24,000 tip-up seats, 88 private boxes, 720 executive suites, lavish restaurant facilities, modern cantilever stands, and almost total all-round cover. What more could those old-time pioneers have looked for in their promised land? 4-page advert for Sharp, United sponsors at the time. Guess our next home game, and guess our next home gate, and you could win something that'll make you stand out in the crowd. Look at that, you could win that Sharp personal cassette player. If you just guess how many fans will pass through the turnstiles at the next first team home game. If you do all that and send it off to Barry Morehouse at Manchester United Development Association, you could be the lucky winner of that. Hey, what a win that'd be. Right, okay, so we go into the centre page now where we've got both teams. United in the red shirts and white shorts. Picture of Remy Moses. We've got Gary Bailey, Mike Duxbury, Arthur Alverston, Remy Moses, Kevin Moran, Graham Hogg, captained by Brian Robson, Gordon Strachan, Mark Hughes, Norman Whiteside and Jasper Olsen. Liverpool side in yellow shirts, yellow shorts. It was a classic kit, that was. Bruce Grobbelaar, captained by Phil Neal, Alan Kennedy, Mark Lawrenson, Ronnie Whelan, Alan Hansen, Kenny Dalglish, Sammy Lee, Paul Walsh, John Walk and Jan Molby. And the officials for today's game, Mr. P. Willis from County Durham, Linesman Mr J.A. Kirkby from Sheffield with the red flag, Mr E.J. Parker from Preston with a yellow flag. And the last meeting at Old Trafford in Football League Division 1, 24th of September 1983, Manchester United won 1-0 from a Stapleton goal, attendance of 56,121. Next at Old Trafford, Milk Cup against Burnley and the Central League against Liverpool. Kick-off 7:30, a token will not be issued, not in big bold letters. Half-time scores for various fixtures of that day, Arsenal versus Stoke, etc. Now, the Old Trafford collection. Cliff Butler takes United fans into the trophy room. So we've got selecting a particular United view in which to include the European Champions Clubs Cup was the easiest decisions. Could there be a better and more fitting occasion than today, when the present champions of Europe are the visitors? United were, of course, the first ever Football League club to capture the most coveted prize in international club football on that heady night at Wembley in May 1968. Although the Champions Cup is huge, the replica pictured here stands little more than 8 inches high and features a removable lid, something the club itself doesn't have. To complete the set of mementos from that milestone in our history, we have also got the pennant and circular plate that were presented by the great Portuguese club SL Benfica. Look at those great photographs. Book review here, Champion of Champions. Jimmy Greaves with Norman Giller talk inside the 10 greatest football teams. Which was the greatest post-war side to take the league championship? How many times have you been asked that question? It always is a difficult proposition to compare teams from different eras, but it remains a talking point. And football people like Jimmy Greaves talk about it in his latest book, Taking Sides. It could be talking sides, but it's taking sides. The 10 greatest football teams. It's written with not a little help from his pal Norman Giller, by the First Division's most prolific scorer of all time. Jimmy Greaves scored 350 goals during his career with Chelsea, Spurs and West Ham, which gives him as good a set of credentials as anyone to pass judgment on this tantalising subject. In the book, he approaches this always intriguing topic by a process of elimination. 10 post-war league greats are analysed with facts and figures supplied by Norman Giller and an assessment by Jimmy himself. Only one title per side is allowed, and he chooses Sir Matt's team of the 50s as United representative, while the 1976-77 Bob Paisley lineup get the nod for the Anfield slot in this make-believe competition. It was $7.95 that book, and it was available from most good bookshops. The hardback edition cost $9.95. Not cheap in those days. Now we've got some photos here. United in action. Jasper Olsen opens the floodgates as he takes the ball round Newcastle keeper Kevin Carr to make it 1-0 just before half-time. Mark Hughes places his shot well wide of the goalkeeper to make it 3-0, and there was more to come. This is when United played Newcastle recently. The Newcastle kit with the Newcastle Brewery, Newcastle Brown Ale. Here's the Reds on the record, first team fixtures. And then the Canon League Division 1, appearances 84-85, goal scorers 84-85. Photograph there. The caption to the picture on page 3 could quite easily read, "Look no hands," are 2 pictures sewn here to reinforce that. A view of Gordon Strachan making it 2-0 from the penalty spot, main picture, and 5-0 inset. Remember Gordon being on page 3, there's a big picture of him. So United's team early on in this season, as it was generally Bailey, Duxbury, Albiston, Moses, Moran, Hogg, Robson, Strachan, Hughes, Brazil or Whiteside, and Olsen, with subs of either Whiteside or the great Dutch player Arnold Muren. Okay, good programme this one. So now we have a referee's corner with Ivan Smith, JP, blow the whistle on this penalty. Pardon me for asking, but am I the only one to take exception to the way in which 2 major European competitions were decided last May? Perhaps if Spurs and today's visit Liverpool had been at the wrong end of the penalty farce, then we might have heard plenty. But it's no good waiting for that kind of disappointment before we register our feelings on such a travesty of justice. Still a controversial subject all these years on. Today's referee, Peter Willis, is one of the most senior men on the list. A police officer, Peter is married with 2 children, commenced his refereeing career in Durham 21 years ago. He refereed the first Milk Cup final between Liverpool, who else, and Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley in 1982. Have a crossword there. And then the Red Devils souvenir shop now in stock, the new Adidas home and away strips. Sizes from 26 to 28 inch to 38 inch to 40. Shop's open weekdays from 9:30 till 4:30. Please send a stamped addressed envelope with a full list of items available. And then we have an advert, home or away. You can't beat Telecom. Look at that, British Telecom. State-of-the-art telephone. Right. Has it just been privatised? They're not saying yet it's privatised. Right. And then we finish with today's visitors, Liverpool. Liverpool manager Joe Fagan allows himself a wry smile when the critics predict his team's reign of supremacy is about to come to an end. They've been saying the same things as at the outset of every season for as long as he can remember, but each time Liverpool, they seem to bounce back even bigger and better than before. The departure of their midfielder Graham Souness to Sampdoria provided this year's case for the property of Liverpool to doom, and he will certainly be a very difficult player to replace. He's gone now, and we mustn't be talking about him, argues Mr. Fagan. I'm only interested in the present and the future, not the past. At one point, it was felt that the veteran Kenny Dalglish might again drop back into the midfield to fill the void, but an injury to Ian Rush forced Mr. Fagan to switch his Scottish international back into attack, where he's been partnered by England international Paul Walsh, a £700,000 signing from Luton this summer. Mr. Fagan has already tried several combinations in his endeavours to find a permanent successor to Souness. Steve Nicol, who enjoyed a fine run on the left side of midfield for a spell last season, was used in the FA Charity Shield game against Everton. Jan Molby, £225,000 summer signing from Ajax, was later drafted in. And other midfield players have been of varying styles have been in, and it's likely to be several weeks before the particular problem is ironed out. So we have all the information about him. And it finishes with, if the late Bill Shankly, who started Liverpool's run of greatness, was still with us, he would undoubtedly counter, aye, but we've won the Central League a few times. That's talking about the bit above that Nottingham Forest have won all these things. And then, random. Anyway, Liverpool's honours there. And when they were founded, headquarters Anfield Road, ground capacity 45,600, nickname Reds or Pool. And then they won quite a lot, haven't they? And quite a bit since then as well. And then we finish with United Pools Agency, fantastic agency benefits, etc. Send your details. Finishing with a full-page advert for Sharp, United sponsors at the time. Sharp radio cassette portables, so versatile they can play anywhere. Picture of Brian Robson. That was a great kit, that was. The world is sharp, where great ideas come to life. So good programme, that one. As always, the United Review. If you've enjoyed this programme review, a classic programme review, give me a share, a like, and subscribe to Hayden's Mini Adventures, where there'll be plenty more programme reviews to come, hopefully. Take care. Bye.